This college town always ranks as one of the most expensive places to live in the entire Midwest. But what if I told you thousands of people are still moving here and staying? And would you believe this is one of the best places to live in the entire country? Yep, if you're thinking about moving to Madison, Wisconsin, you have to get the real deal about what it's actually like living here. So in this video, I'll get brutally honest about the pros and cons of this wonderful but challenging city. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Madison is one of the most expensive places in the Midwest, and this is the #1 shock for people moving here. Here's what the housing market looks like right now. As of late 2025, the median listing price is around the low 400s, up about 3% from last year. The average sale price hit the high 400s, which is up over 8% year over year. Homes are selling in about 12 days, with inventory sitting at just 1.6 months. That's a very competitive seller's market. But let me put this into perspective for you. Madison housing costs are way higher than those in other Midwest cities. For instance, Milwaukee's median is in the low 200s, while Madison sits in the low to mid 400s, and compared to Minneapolis, Madison's average listings are about 50% higher. So why is Madison so expensive? Well, it sits on a very narrow strip of land between Lake Mendota to the north and Lake Monona to the south. That geography limits how much the city can actually expand. You've got water on both sides, strict development regulations, and everyone wants to live here because of the University of Wisconsin and companies like Epic Systems. But when you combine limited inventory with strong, sustained demand, prices go up. There's also this lock-in effect happening. People who bought homes with those sub-mortgage rates from a few years ago aren't selling, and long-term residents age in place rather than downsizing. All of that reduces the available inventory even more. Now, neighborhoods obviously vary in price, and you'll have to stay until later on in the video to see why. But property taxes are also higher here. Madison's 2025 residential assessments increased about 8% from around $27.9 billion to over $30 billion. But here's the thing. The city is very well maintained year-round. The roads, parks, services, it all reflects that tax investment. Which brings me to the next topic. Okay, so Madison's pricey, but what are you getting for that premium? A ton, actually. Madison's cultural scene is driven by two powerhouses, the University of Wisconsin-Madison and the Wisconsin State Capitol. Both sit right on or near downtown, and they create this incredible energy. Let me tell you about the Capitol. The Wisconsin State Capitol offers free guided tours year-round, and you have to check out the panoramic view from the very top of the Capitol. From Memorial Day through Labor Day, there's even a 4 p.m. tour on weekdays. The Capitol features an outdoor observation deck open mid-April through December with 360-degree views of Madison and its lake. Capitol Square itself is the heart of downtown, and it hosts year-round festivals and events. For instance, the art fair on the square in July draws in nearly 200,000 visitors with over 500 artists, live music, and outdoor dining. There's also concerts on the square every Wednesday with free performances at the Capitol Square. Labor Day weekend brings Taste of Madison, a free 2-day event with over 80 food vendors and live music on 2 separate stages, and a ton more. In downtown Madison's Central Business Improvement District is home to over 370 shops, galleries, restaurants, and night spots, many locally owned. So you've got plenty to do here. I'll be circling back to that later when I cover incredible dining options. Before I go on, hi, I'm Mari Slobanoff, and if you're thinking about moving here but have a lot of questions, I specialize in helping people with this move. I've lived here for over 14 years after moving from California, so I totally understand what you need to know and look for. You can reach me by my contact information in the description below. Now, let's talk about the Beltline. If you're moving to Madison, you need to know about this con. The Beltline, or also referred to the US 1218, 14, 151, is the most heavily used route in South Central Wisconsin, and it's notorious for slow, frustrating commutes. Over 120,000 vehicles per day travel this 10-mile stretch, and weekday traffic increased about 6.5% in 2024 compared to 2019. The worst congestion hits during morning rush hours, especially between 7 and 8 a.m., though afternoons can be rough too. It's really bad when you're crossing the isthmus or heading to the west side or Verona, where Epic Systems is located. The interchange with I-3990 has an extensive queue that extends way beyond the immediate interchange area. The lanes are narrow, and trucks over 5 tons and vehicles pulling trailers aren't even allowed in certain areas. So the state implemented a flex lane as a temporary solution. The flex lane runs on the median, so the shoulder, between Whitney Way and I-3990. It's open during weekday mornings and afternoon peak hours when congestion is worse. Data shows it's reduced crashes, which is great, but it's still a band-aid on a bigger problem, and people drive so fast in the flex lane, it's a little scary. Here's the good news though. A lot of Madison residents successfully avoid the Beltline altogether through smart route planning and choosing where they live. If you live downtown or on the east side and work near campus or downtown, you might never need to deal with it. That's something to think about when you're house hunting. And before we check out more stuff about housing, I want to touch on some pros and cons about the weather and lifestyle. All right, let's get to one of my favorite parts about Madison, the lakes and the outdoor lifestyle. Madison's marine lifestyle revolves around Lake Mendota and Lake Monona, and there's an extensive network of trails that connect everything. The Capital City State Trail is a 17-mile paved trail that meanders from Fitchburg through downtown Madison to the eastern neighborhoods. It follows historic railroad right-of-ways and passes iconic landmarks like the Frank Lloyd Wright designed Monona Terrace Convention Center. The section along John Nolan Drive gives you incredible views of downtown Madison across to Lake Monona. It literally serves as a causeway crossing the lake too. The trail also passes through the historic Atwood Starkweather neighborhood. Then there's Lake Monona Bike Loop, a scenic 13-mile paved loop with breathtaking lake views, accessible parks, and beaches. A lot of people start at Olin Park on John Nolan Drive. And check this out, Madison's biking culture is serious. The city is always ranked among the top bike-friendly cities. The city has invested heavily in bike infrastructure, improving its People for Bikes city rating from 50 in 2020 to 58 in 2024. Okay, now let's talk parks. Ulbrich Botanical Gardens is an oasis voted one of the top 10 most inspiring gardens in North America. It features 14 outdoor gardens, including the Rose Garden, Herb Garden, Meadow Garden, and Serenity Garden. Truly all beautiful. The Thai Pavilion and Garden, one of only 4 such pavilions outside of Thailand, has amazing gold leaf etchings and spans 40 feet. The indoor conservatory provides year-round tropical exhibits with a waterfall, birds, and fish. They also feature monarch butterflies. Tram rides are available if you don't want to walk. Henry Vilas Zoo has been open daily with free admission since 1911. It has over 600 animals from around the world. Indoor exhibits include the aviary, the primate building, and the herpetarium. The conservation carousel runs from April through October for $3, and the seasonal zoo train rides are available as well. Adjacent Vilas Park has free sledding hills in the winter, a beach for summer swimming, and a free outdoor ice skating rink with rentals available. And the UW Arboretum has miles of walking trails through diverse ecosystems, plus free family-friendly events including family nature walks and learning classes for children. Madison also has an extensive park network with free splash pads at Cypress, Elver, and Randall Parks. Free outdoor ice skating rinks are maintained at multiple locations, include Tenny Park and Vilas Park. Now, speaking of skating, con number 3 has to do with exactly that, the winter. I'm gonna be straight with you about Madison winters. They're real and they're long. Madison experiences a genuine 4-season climate with a harsh winter lasting from December, sometimes November, through February, sometimes April. And I'm not talking about a few cold days here and there. I mean a commitment. The average winter temperature is around 24 degrees Fahrenheit overall, with average lows around 15 degrees and highs around 30, but it gets colder. Madison averages a few nights per year that drop to 0 or even lower, and there are 60 days per year where the high doesn't even reach 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Annual snowfall averages 50 to 53 inches. January is typically the snowiest month, getting over 13 inches. Lake Mendota and Lake Monona average 102 days of ice cover each year, typically freezing mid-December to early January, and thawing in March to early April. Summer brings its own challenge though. Madison summers are pretty humid. The upper Midwest is considered one of the most humid regions on Earth in the summer. Summer highs sit between 78 and 82 degrees, but high dew points are common. Madison actually recorded the highest dew point ever measured in the United States. Spring has temperatures between 35 and 65 degrees and about 8 inches of precipitation, spread across 30 rainy days. Fall is generally pleasant until November, when things start cooling down. Here's the thing though, Madison does have 4 full seasons with year-round beauty and activities. Dressing appropriately with thermal layers, a heavy winter coat with a waterproof outer shell, and all that makes winter commitment manageable, especially coming from a California native. You can also enjoy ice skating on public rinks, sledding, winter festivals, and plenty of indoor cultural activities. Okay, now let's shift gears and talk about the absolutely booming food scene around here. Pro number 3 has to do with Madison's food culture being incredible. It kind of centers on the Dane County Farmers Market, and you'll see why. The Dane County Farmers Market is America's largest producer-only farmers market. This is a huge deal, guys. USA Today listed it as the top-rated market in Wisconsin, and it placed 5th nationally in a reader's poll. Fox News identified the farmers market as one of the key reasons why Madison ranks as a top foodie paradise. So on Saturday mornings, April through November, the market completely encircles the state capitol on Capitol Square with over 150 vendors. On Wednesday morning, there's a market on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. November through December, there's an indoor winter market at Monona Terrace. Then January through early April, there's a late winter market at Garver Feed Mill. About 220 vendors participate year-round with 130 plus on Saturday mornings. All the vendors must be producers of their own products, farmers, food trucks, or artists. Products include Wisconsin-grown fruits, vegetables, flowers, plants, meats, cheeses, nuts, and specialty items. Now, speaking of food, Madison's dining scene is built around farm-to-table restaurants, and there are multiple James Beard award-winning establishments. L'Etoile pioneered the farm-to-table concept in Madison and celebrated for seasonal, locally sourced menus. Fairchild is currently recognized as the best restaurant in the city. Chef Itaru, former head sous chef at L'Etoile, won the James Beard Award. Gray's opened in 2010 by James Beard award-winning chef Tori Miller and serves comfort food celebrating Wisconsin and Korean heritage with local farm and producer ingredients. Madison's craft brewing scene is strong too. Breweries include Capital Brewery, Working Draft Beer, Delta Beer Lab, and North of the Bayou, among a ton of others. And before you hear about Madison's economy and job market, let me share some considerations on different neighborhoods around here. So, which area in Madison serves you best? Let me break them down real quick. Downtown and the capital area are ideal for young professionals who want walkability, retirees wanting access to amenities, and snowbirds who might want to just lock up their condo and move to Florida in the winter. But there are challenges. There's noise from events and traffic. The capital area hosts protests nearly every weekend. Parking is difficult, and it's not ideal if you have multiple pets or vehicles. It's also not great for families wanting space and yards. The west side is ideal for families seeking space and those wanting easier to commute to the university, Epic, UW Health, or the Capitol. Remember though, the west side is more expensive than the east side, but it's more family oriented with closer proximity to major employment and amenities. The east side is where you'll get more bang for your buck. A bit cheaper than the west side, the north side is growing with increased restaurants and business development. Over here, you've got those buzzing neighborhoods like Willie Street, which is Williamson Marquette neighborhood. It was the first neighborhood association in Madison, and it's known for a bohemian, eco-friendly vibe and excellent restaurant scene ranging from Laotian to Cajun cuisine and tons of music festivals. The north side has the lowest housing costs in Madison, but you're trading proximity for affordability. It takes forever to get anywhere from the north side. The north side does have a proximity advantage if you're a national commuter though, because it's closer to the airport and the area is experiencing restaurant and business growth. And I'll be going deeper into the business side of things in a second. Maple Bluff is a wealthy residential pocket near Lake Mendota on the north side. It's a luxury area, but still more affordable than other expensive neighborhoods. Now I want to tell you about a huge pro. So Madison's economy is anchored by three major sectors: healthcare, technology and biotech, and the state government. And the job market here is strong. And Epic Systems is the most significant private employer in the region. Headquartered in nearby Verona, it's about 10 miles southwest of Madison. Founded in 1979, Epic has become one of the largest privately held technology companies in the United States. Epic's campus spans 1,100 acres with 22 office buildings, 2 large food service buildings, training center, and a 5,800-seat auditorium, and the deep space. They employ around 14,000 people with annual revenue around $5.7 billion. So Epic is the largest electronic health records vendor by market share, and its software manages medical records for over 305 million patients worldwide. And that's not all. The campus itself has science fiction inspired buildings, castle-like structure, shipwreck-themed buildings, a wizard campus inspired by Harry Potter, and many themed gardens. Pretty unique. The University of Wisconsin-Madison is Wisconsin's largest employer and economic engine. The university generates a significant economic impact across the state, supporting hundreds of thousands of jobs. And UW Health is a major regional employer and healthcare provider. I'll be telling you more about healthcare in a second. There's one last con I need to mention though. Madison's housing market is still very competitive. Even with the challenges of cost and limited inventory, buyers are still receiving multiple offers and homes sell quickly. Strategic pricing and professional home preparation are critical for sellers, and early offers are very common for buyers. This is why working with a trusted real estate agent who knows the local market is essential. The competitive market means you need someone who understands neighborhoods, nuances, pricing strategies, and how to navigate multiple offer situations. But we're not done yet. So here's the payoff for everything I've talked about. Madison consistently ranks among the nation's top places to live. There's a reason. The combination of a strong job market, excellent educational institutions, recreational opportunities, and overall quality of life is what makes Madison truly amazing. Healthcare quality is exceptional too. UW Health and affiliated healthcare organizations provide world-class medical services. University Hospital in Madison has been ranked Wisconsin's #1 hospital for 14 consecutive years by US News and World Report. So Madison represents a trade-off. You're paying a premium to live here, yes. You're dealing with real winters and traffic on the Beltline. But what you're getting is a city with unique geography between 2 lakes, incredible cultural vibrancy, an unmatched outdoor, a farm-to-table food scene, and a strong economy driven by healthcare, biotech, and tech. But for the people who choose to live here, that trade-off is worth it. Okay, bottom line, Madison isn't for everyone. If you need affordable housing, mild winters, and easy commutes, you might want to look elsewhere. But if you value quality of life, access to nature, cultural energy, and a strong job market, Madison delivers. The key is understanding what you're getting into. So choose an agent that's an expert in this area and can help you spot your perfect neighborhood. And that's my specialty. Having moved here over 10 years ago myself, shoot me an email at mari@livinginmadison.com and let's talk about what matters most to you. And if this video helped you understand what makes Madison unique, make sure to subscribe because I'm breaking down everything you need to know about moving and living in Madison. Thanks so much for being here. See you next time.